When it comes to the top military forces in the world, USA, Russia, and China tops the list. Not only do they have the most powerful army, but also rank in the economy and technology sectors. Though being so powerful in developed countries, what's the main reason for the repeated defeat against a small and poor country, Afghanistan? Despite having major defeats, why did Russia, US, and UK show such high-level interest in conquering the barren piece of land? Afghanistan has spent centuries in just fighting wars with other powerful nations. 25,000 years ago, Afghanistan was conquered and ruled successfully by the Persian Empire during the 522 BC, but the rule did not exceed for more than 2 years. By 330 BC, Alexander the Great conquered Persia and Afghanistan. Though Alexander had his control over the entire world, his rule in Afghanistan ended within 7 years. Other major empires such as Mongol Empire, Sikh Empire, and Mughal Empire have tried to conquer the land at different time periods. But only Mongols could hold their rule up to 2 years, whereas the Sikhs and the Mughals abandoned the area within a year. When the British started capturing the subcontinent, Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan were under their control. The British tried to conquer Afghanistan for over 3 times but failed in all of their attempts. On 1979, the Soviet Union tried to conquer Afghanistan, and after fighting the war for about 9 years, Russia decided to step back and retrieve their troops back. The withdrawal from the war had imposed a major negative impression on the Soviet Union. On 2001, the Americans attacked Afghanistan, and that too along with the other powerful NATO countries. This war went on continuously for 20 years against the Afghani Taliban, whereas Taliban was single-handedly victing the powerful nations. There was a major monetary loss, and since there was not much progress, as during the war America was successful in controlling only 15% of Afghanistan. This led the American forces to sign a deal with the Taliban in order to retrieve from the war. The physical terrain of Afghanistan makes conquest and rule extremely difficult, intensifying its tribal tendencies. The lower part of Afghanistan is occupied by the Pashtuns. According to the reports, Pashtuns live comparatively in larger numbers in Pakistan than Afghanistan. Because before the creation of the border, the tribe used to live majorly in the parts of South Afghanistan and West Pakistan. Though the British created the border, no importance was given to it by the people. The border was an imaginary line between the two countries, and people used to go meet their family and friends on the other side of the border. Since the maximum portion of the border is covered by the mountains, controlling it is a major task for both Pakistan and Afghanistan. The borderline is 2,640 kilometers long, and there are 300 such spots in the borderline through which people can easily pass. Moreover, Afghanistan is a landlocked country, so there's no direct entry to the nation. You need to go through the neighboring countries to reach the border. Assuming somehow you reach the borders, then there's these huge dangerous mountain range which needs to be crossed. And these mountains are the major reason for the lower population of the country. The Hindu Kush mountain range is so high and dangerous that surviving and crossing it is nearly impossible. The mountain covers 75% of the Afghan area, in which 50% of the area has an elevation greater than 2,000 meters. This acts as a natural wall for Afghanistan against the enemies. As the militants are very familiar with the mountains, they use it to their advantage. During the Soviet War, militants used to hide in these mountains, attack the tanks and troops of the opposition, and go hide among the mountains. And finding them was an impossible task. The same happened during the American War in 2001. The Khyber Pass has been a major route for resupplying military armament and food to the NATO forces. This gave an open chance for the Afghani militants to destroy the supplies, which they did by attacking from the mountains. Sometimes the militants would easily enter Pakistan by crossing the border and burn down the NATO containers even before they reached the Khyber Pass. In early February 2009, Taliban insurgents cut off the Khyber Pass temporarily by blowing up a key bridge. This increasingly unstable situation in northwest Pakistan made the US and NATO broaden supply routes through Central Asia. With all the major drawbacks and defeats, why do all the nations still want to conquer Afghanistan? Afghanistan is the center of Asia. It plays an important role in maintaining connectivity with Central Asia, Southern Asia, and the Middle East. Thus, whoever controls Afghanistan will automatically be special to all its neighboring countries. This is the primary reason that when one country attempts to conquer Afghanistan, the opposing country pays Taliban and assists them in winning the war.